Live stream number 2.
Number 2. I literally don't know what to say.
Week recap.
Oh yeah, we thought we'd do a recap of the week.
Yeah, and what happened in our lives. And then if something stands out, we just talk about it, what we think about it. All this stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess the first thing would be some colleague of me told her she's a gold digger.
Literally. And I was so offended. So I went out with a colleague of mine last night and I'm totally blanking. I went out with a colleague of mine and she and I were like kind of like bonding and like everything was going amazing. And then there's this one girl at work and we know that she like talks a lot of smack. That's just what she does. She's like a shit talker, which is fine. So like we compare notes, right? Like what she says to me versus what she says to her. And then we realized that she talks shit about me to her and about her to me and vice versa with every other employee there. And I was like, oh my God, of course. Like, of course there's someone like this at work. But I honestly, like, didn't care that much. I was like, everybody talks shit. Like, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you get frustrated at work and you just want to, like, vent. And, like, I get that. So I was like, okay, it's fine. Like, she's talking shit. It's no big deal. But then she told me, like, what she was saying. And she said that apparently... Oh my God, I'm so annoyed. But this is pretty much what she told her. She said, oh, you know, V got married like super young. Do you think because she's brown that she was running away from getting an arranged marriage? I'm just like, what? And then like to really top things off, she was like, oh, she's running from an arranged marriage and also like she's gold digging because like T earns a lot. And so can I say what you do for work or no? Probably not.
I work in technology.
Yeah, so T works in technology and so like obviously I told her like specifically the role he does because she asked me, she was like, what does he do? Like, you know how people just do that thing at work where they want to know what's popping in your life. So I was like, yeah, T works in technology and does blah blah blah. And I think like she kind of like pieced it together, what kind of like salary I guess that would have. And she was like, she goes to my coworker and says, she's like, oh, I think like V is running from getting arranged marriage and she's also like settled with T because she's gold digging. I can't. I'm so like, honestly, I could fight her. No, I could. I could do it. And do you know what? I'd probably win. I could take her any day of the week. You know, and she like apparently the other day at work, she was like, oh my God, I want to like fight someone once just to see what it feels like. I'm like, fight me. You want to fight somebody? Fight me. I'm ready. Let's go. But like, yeah, no, I'm just like super pissed off because obviously like I was really offended and I never thought that she was like the kind of person that would like make a comment like that about me. And then I was like, because I mean, I obviously didn't marry T for money. So then I came home and I was like telling T about what she said. Oh, another thing. After she told my coworker like all this stuff about me and saying like I'm gold digger and stuff, she was like, she saw my coworker's face, obviously, And my coworker was fucking shook that someone would say something like this in a working environment. And she was like, she immediately tried to like backtrack, and she was like, no, like I feel, she's like, oh my god, I can't believe I said that, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah, you know, just BS. And she went up to my coworker and she was like, please don't tell V, like please don't tell her, I know you guys are like friends, and like don't tell her. And obviously she told me, but you know, why? Like, if you don't want anyone else to hear about this, why are you telling people? Why are you spreading stuff like this? It's so like at work with like my other colleagues and stuff, and like she's probably saying this to everyone.
Probably,
and everyone has this like warped perception of me. And then so like honestly, I'm fired up. And she then comes in the next day at work, goes up to my coworker again, and says, oh my god, I couldn't sleep last night, you know, like what I said yesterday really kept me up at night. I'm like, no, you know what kept you up at night? Dreaming of me fighting you.
Because you're gonna haunt her in her
I
dreams.
swear to god, I just cannot with this girl. So she's like just spreading all this shit about me, and I'm so like, okay, she is like 20, the big age, guys, of 29, this woman, she's grown. You know?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, people have fucking kids by 29, you know what I mean? The whole 9 yards. And she's out here talking about some 20-year-old girl at work. I've never talked about her marriage like that. I've never gone up to my coworker and been like, oh my god, her marriage is a sham. She's a gold digger. She also doesn't pay rent. Like, her fucking man works in the Navy or some shit. I'm like, you could say you're a gold digger. I mean, I know they don't get paid a lot.
I don't know how much they get paid, but I guess
but there are
they
loads
get
of
like
benefits.
they get like free rent or reduced rent, because I believe the government has like all those contracts that have been made ages ago, and
literally
since then they never increased the rent. So,
yeah. So they live like really, really, really cheap. And I'm like, I could say the same thing. I could say you were with him just for these benefits. But it's stupid.
I must say, I assume that. I actually don't know the numbers, so it's just, I assume they...
But she told me how much rent she pays.
Yeah, that's true. And they have quite a big house.
They have a massive house.
How big is it?
It's like a townhouse.
Where is it located?
I can't say that.
Like, is it in a city or more the other suburbs?
Near us.
Oh, so kind of in a city.
It's expensive here.
How many bedrooms was it?
A couple, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. They have a backyard, a front lawn.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Everything.
Yeah, no, I guess if you would rent that by these prices nowadays, I guess you'd pay like $700.
I'm sorry, what? And I'm digging? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
I guess now that begs the question, what actually would be considered a gold
Straight
digger?
up. Yeah, because I came home and I told T. Did I say your name at all?
No, not yet.
Alright, not yet. I kind of want a jacket, I'm cold. I might get one.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, so then I come home and, oh my god, I'm sorry. I was doing really well.
Yeah, you did really well.
How long did I make it? 10 minutes? Pretty good. T was sleeping and I couldn't tell him, so I waited until this morning. And when I told him, and T's like, he's like, you're kind of a gold digger. And let me tell you, I'm hurt. This is going to keep me up at night. I'm not kidding. This is literally going to keep me up at night. But he was like, I think I'm a gold digger. No, I don't know. It's all very confusing.
I guess if you look at it objectively, we would qualify for a gold digger because she lives a little bit on what I pay for. But I guess it's not the money that brought us together, because when we met, I was sharing with 4 other people, and I don't really show that I have money, because I just wear clothes. Sometimes there are paint stains on them because I sometimes renovate properties, and that probably makes me look like I'm just some schmuck whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that I was basically on our first date. I was wearing clothes with paint stains on them, but I guess what kind of
You
gave
did that on purpose?
no, not really on purpose. I was coming from a job, and that were like the only clothes I had, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I guess what kind of gave it away is that I pay like for all the dinners in like the first couple of months when we were dating.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for me as a man, I'm a little bit conflicted because I feel I should provide for my wife. Because that is my role as a man. That's my conservative views, you know. So I would have done it for everyone, not for like, not if someone would ask me about it, you know. Because I believe in those conservative gender roles, which probably offends a lot of people, but in my opinion, a man should provide and the woman should nurture. Yeah, and I think she does that, and I think polarity is like a very important factor of like masculine energy and feminine energy, and when I would say it would be like 50-50, then I feel there's no really a chance for polarity to develop, because then like man and woman kind of share the roles to some degree that neither knows what is their role in this relationship. It feels like that to me. Because it feels like a lot of relationships nowadays, there's not really a polarity, as in like the woman doesn't feel comfortable being the woman or is not able to be the woman, and the man is not comfortable being the man, being like the leader, provider. And at times looks to the woman for guidance, and I think that will kind of destroy this sort of polarity that kind of nature provided to us. What
Yeah, like
yeah.
I kind of, it sounds really, really not woke.
Yeah.
I know that. It sounds really not woke.
Mm.
It's like so far from woke. Where is woke? You know what I mean?
Mm.
But I have to agree, like, for me, I don't want to be the one leading our relationship. I just don't. I don't like it. I don't want that responsibility. I just am not built for it, and I know myself. You know, I would lead us straight to hell.
I wouldn't say that.
Burning, flames everywhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I think the reason why I believe in that is because we live in an environment where everybody kind of fights for survival, right? And in order to fight for survival, you need to be a fighter. If you can't fight, you're basically gonna get eaten up and spit out. That's just the way it is. And if you don't believe me, I mean, just look at nature. Like, the lion dies if he is not able to kill an animal. And that's just the way it is. And I mean, okay, nowadays there's the argument, yes, we are all collective specimen. We live in like a social, in like a social environment where we have like roles and responsibilities and all this stuff. But I mean, this is not too much different than apes in the jungle, and they fight for dominance. Like, the guy that is at the top of the dominance hierarchy, he leads the tribe until he gets replaced by the next stronger or more intelligent or more popular individual. And if you don't believe me, then watch a documentary. That's what happens there. And if people are not aware of those kind of, I would say, universal truths, then I don't think they will do well in society, either in terms of opportunities and possibilities or in terms of their own mental health. Because when you are all about sharing and caring and like everybody can be friends, you gonna get taken advantage of and left behind, really, pretty much, or abused or whatever. So that's why I believe there's like some universal roles for man and woman to play. And I think a lot of problems happen when we don't accept those sort of roles.
So, yeah, I mean, as I was saying, like, I'm not someone who wants to lead our family, if I'm honest. That's like, and I think it probably has a lot to do with how I grew up as well. Like, for me, my dad did that in our family. You know what I mean? Like, we looked to him for, like, guidance on things. I'm not saying he was the perfect father. He obviously wasn't. But I do still think that he did everything that he was supposed to do. And I do still feel the love is there. Like, I never felt like my dad didn't love me. But in saying this, like, my mom was kind of like the nurturer in my family. And I wish I could, like, even put into words, like, how much I appreciated that growing up. Obviously, you don't recognize it when you're younger, but as you get older, you see the sacrifices that she makes for the family in the same way that you see the sacrifices my dad made for my family, you know? And they're different roles, but they play equal parts in having, like, a happy home, you know? And I get that, obviously, without T, there would be no home.
I can say the same thing about you. Without you, there wouldn't be a home. I think I'm provide the ability to pay for a space, but you actually make it homey.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, is like it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yes.
And I really believe that when and it's not easy, but you can find like a balance of sorts.
Yeah.
For us, it's been hard because I am lazy and messy. And it's just, and trust me when I say it, it hurts. It really hurts, but T has gotten me to kind of open my eyes, you know, and it hasn't been easy, but I really feel like I am well on my way to, like, fulfilling the role that I want to fulfill, you know? Yeah, it's been hard for me because I'm so used to just, like, being by myself and, like, just not giving a shit, you know? Like, things are messy or, like, shit doesn't get done and I'm like, whatever, you know? But when you're in a marriage and you're, like, it's just, like, when I see what, like, T does for me, it really motivates me to do the same thing for him, you know? Because it's only fair. You know, like, he deserves to feel the contentness as much as I do when he does this stuff for me. You know what I mean? Like, and the best way to show your appreciation, I've learned, is through your actions. And I really want to pull my weight. So, like, I push myself to, like, remember to do the small things, because at the end of the day, that's what people recognize. You know, people really notice when you do that stuff and when you're, like, consistent with what you say. And yeah, I'm, like, pushing myself to be that person. And initially it's hard, just because you have to, like, accept that you're a lazy person, you know? And it's harder because I'm lazy, so it's harder to get myself to do it, you know? But, like, and T is so different. T's, like, super motivated. He's never been, like, a lazy person, as far as I've known him. He's never been lazy. He's, like, super motivated. When he says he's going to do something, he just does it. It's so much harder for me. Like, when I say I'm going to do something, I really want to do it, but then I'm like, I forget, or I can't be bothered. You know what I mean? And I'm like, FML. Why am I like this? But, you know, like, that's what it takes, is, like, when you're with the right person, they bring out the best in you. And,
True.
like, I really do feel like before T and I were together, like, I wasn't pushing myself enough to do more with my life. And, like, with T, like, by my side, I feel stronger. Like, I feel like I can do more. You know, like, it's weird. Like, I would never have done this video thing without T. I just can't. It's too much for me. Like, I just can't. I get overwhelmed by stuff like this. But, like, having someone there, it's like, so nice. You just have like this support, you know, this like rock.
Mm.
And I couldn't play that role.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't be the rock.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not built for it. I'm not saying that I can't support T when he needs me. I can, but it's not the same.
No. The thing is also, I can actually say the same thing about V, because I'm on my own. I'm a rock and everything, but a rock on its own is not really a pleasant sight, because it's cold and harsh, and at the top it's like icy, nothing grows. So you need something that kind of complements the rock in a way. So you need some like lush vegetation and stuff like this. It's a stupid analogy, but I just try to kind of draw a picture on what you said. So no, the thing is, I think I've grown a lot through V, and that means being compassionate and having patience, especially with other people, because I think I can be quite short, and then I can be kind of harsh, and obviously that closes a lot of doors in my life. And I think because of V, and also the need to provide for her and give her really the best that's out there, I really need to go for the things that make me the most uncomfortable. So for example, my last job, or the job that I'm working now, I had like multiple offers, but that one was the best paid one. But I was scared to take it because I felt like an imposter. Like I felt like I didn't have the skills that it needs in order to do well in that job, and then maybe I would get fired after like a couple of months. And it was actually V that pushed me to try it and see how it goes, and she also reassured me that she would support me if it wouldn't go well. Which also for me proves that she's not a gold digger in like the pop culture sense.
Yeah.
But I talk more about this later, but just to finish this point. So yeah, and in the end I took that job where I felt the most uncomfortable with, personally, because I thought it was over my skill level. But now I'm doing really well, and I got promoted, and I got...
He's been promoted twice, and he hasn't even been there a year.
Yeah, that's right. I've been promoted twice, and I got also a really nice package for shares and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that whole position that I have now basically sets me up to get an even better job, maybe in a year or so, whatever, you know. And I also understand the responsibility that I have, and that is that at some point we want to have kids, and therefore we want to have a house. And you cannot get a house nowadays unless you earn a certain standard of living, or have a certain cash reserve, or the opportunity to capitalize on connections, right? So, and you can only do that if you're likable, and I'm on my own certainly am not as likable as with you by my side, because she softens my edges, which then makes me more approachable, and also makes it easier to point out when I'm being unnecessarily harsh, or when I use the wrong words to communicate the same message. So this is things that I cannot do on my own. So you need someone like V that can point those things out and can notice those things, and then in the end it makes it better for both of us. Because the better I can communicate, the more opportunities I will have in my life. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, straight up. So it's kind of just like you find a balance.
Yes.
Eventually. And I'm not saying that T and I have our balance down. We don't. We're still like, every once in a while there are ups and downs. And that's fine. You know what I mean? It comes with the territory, and it comes in any relationship. I feel like when it's like I know most modern relationships, it's like 50-50 all the way around. Like rent, food and shit, the whole 9 yards, cooking, cleaning, everything. And it's kind of like the same concept, but flipped, you know? And I get that most people don't have the choice to
I guess so, yeah.
have like a relationship like this. Obviously, I'm blessed.
I'm blessed too.
Yeah, of course. And like, I think like we got lucky in the sense that we both have the same kind of like perspective on relationships. I am not someone who is going to deny that I look to T for guidance.
Mm.
You know, I know a lot of women like will find that demeaning.
Mm.
I don't. Like, this is my partner.
Mm.
You know, like, this is my husband. I'm never gonna find taking advice or guidance from him demeaning.
Mm.
It's just not, that's just not how I feel about a marriage.
That's right.
You know, like, you guys are a team.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is in every sense. Like, there's no shame or embarrassment. Like, you know what I mean? There's nothing like, there's no ego for me to feel like I'm being talked down to. Like, there's no ego here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of it is to do with like, oh, that really hurts my ego when I have to ask him for guidance or something, or like when I have to ask him for his opinions. It doesn't hurt me at all. Like, I don't feel like that, you know, like, because I don't feel judged by T. You know, like, when I ask him stuff, I don't feel like, oh my god, he thinks I'm so stupid, or he thinks I'm this. I'm just like, it's fine. I don't know what to do, and I'm just gonna ask him what he thinks.
Yeah, that's right.
And you'll probably see it a lot, like, in our videos. Even in, like, our first one. You could see that I kind of look to him for reassurance.
Yeah.
And it's fine. I'm just like how I am. And I'm okay with that. Like, I wouldn't be able to be with someone who couldn't do that for me.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. So yeah, I guess you need to assume that role, and you just need to provide that strength.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it probably wouldn't work out in a dynamic like ours.
Yeah.
The other thing is also, I guess, obviously everybody can live their life how they want to live it. And I don't think that our way of life is the best way of life.
Yeah.
There's just kind of those things that I observe, and I kind of make me believe certain things, and that is evolution for once, because in evolution it was most of the time the man's role to fight off the wars, or fight in the wars, fight in territory claims or whatever, or fight off the robbers or other dangers whatsoever. And it's very rarely that you had women being in that role, even though it happened. I know there's obviously some tribes where the woman was a navigator somewhere in the Alps and stuff like this. But it's the minority, you know, the same way how it's nowadays the minority that the woman is the leader in a way. Like, I mean, look at the top 500, and yes, there are some female CEOs and whatnot, but the majority is men, and that's not because of gender and like pressure or whatever. It's because they are built to be like that, you know. And yes, you have like all those studies and all those things, but for me, it's truth is most of the time truth is self-evident, you know. And the same way how it is self-evident that women have preferences for certain things, the same way it's self-evident that men have preferences for certain things. And then when you have people on television or in movies portray a picture that is so different to self-evident truths, it just feels like you're brainwashed. You're brainwashed to feel a certain way. And that also comes back to my previous point in terms of what is a gold digger. Like, for me, when a woman basically benefits on material resources that the man provides, you could say, yes, she's a gold digger, but that alone, I don't think it classifies her as a gold digger, because for me, a woman is a gold digger when, okay, let's have this example. You have like $100, and then you give your wife that $100, and then what does she do? Does she spend it all on her own? Yes, she's a gold digger. But if she spends it on something that for the home, where we both can use it or whatever, or on food or on maybe the child, then she's not a gold digger. She's just a woman, you know, who wants to live her role, and her role is to access the resources that a man provides. And then how she handles those resources, I think that is where you can draw the line, as in like when you spend money and she only spends it on herself and doesn't really think about the needs of the couple or of her man, you know.
Yeah, and it's this isn't to say that I don't have a job. I have a job, but and I do like when I like pay for things, it's just smaller things like little knickknacks that we get. I love buying knickknacks for our home. It's literally my favorite thing to do, like flowers, you know, mugs. Guys, mugs, yes. We have a massive mug collection. Mugs and like small things. I pay for like groceries, you know, things like that. That's me. Sorry.
That's okay.
T is like, he invests in our relationship. Like, he literally, I wish I could even explain. He does a lot. Like, everything. But, like, stuff like, for me, T and, okay, this is one of our biggest disagreements. T wants us to live in, like, a share house or something, because economically it just makes more sense. We don't have kids. We like don't host people or whatever. We just have each other. So it would be easy for us to live in a share house. But I just view it differently. Like, for me, having your own space is having a home. You know, a share house can never be a home. You're always going to be, I always feel like I'm living in someone else's space, so you can never relax. Like, in the living area, I'm always a little bit tense because someone could just walk in. You know what I mean? Someone, I don't know, you can't pick your roommates. You know, like, it could be someone that you're not comfortable around, and that's happened. You know, like, and then I have to, like, work around these people. It's a shared space. The bathrooms are dirty. The microwave. Whew. Don't even get me started with the microwave.
Always the microwave.
Always. Every time. It's the microwave. And the thing is, you just need one person not to put a cover, and then everyone else just gives in.
Yeah, that's right.
No one puts a cover anymore.
That's right.
You know, it's like, fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
And the bathroom, oh my god, the shower, you know, like, and I get, like, T's perspective, and, like, but for me, that's not a home. That's not, like, when you're married, you have your own space. You build something, you know, and, like, now we have, like, all these foundational things. If we move, I'm going to do it again at our new place. And I'm going to get it ready. When we have bubs, we will have a home, you know, that's, like, open and ready. When people come over, if we have friends over, family over, we have a home to share with them. You know, like, these are things that I really value. And I put them over our financial stuff, which I guess is kind of selfish. But I just, like, having a home, I feel like, is so important. It's just different. Coming home from work and having a home is just different. And coming home from work and living in a share house, it's a different vibe. You know? And, like, I just value it. And that's why, like, I'm the one who pushed to live in an apartment with just us two. Yeah. And, like, T and I had, like, many discussions about this and, like, fights, whatever, arguments. But he still gave us a little home. And it's so nice. It's so nice. I wish I could show you guys how beautiful. Our apartment's not, like, massive, but it's perfect. It's, like, really, really nice. And the kitchen is so nice, guys. It's, like, the best kitchen ever! And it's, like, marble and dark with all the wood and, like, you know, the floors and stuff. It's perfect. And it even has, at the end of the kitchen, it's like a long corridor, and then there's a window. Come on. Come on. Do you want to live here or not? You know, and we have this fluffy rug. I picked it. And the sofas, I picked it. The table, oh my gosh, perfect. It's so, and guys, the chairs that we're sitting on, it's crazy. It's literally crazy how perfect they are. Yeah. And it's just like, it's just us. Like, when you walk in, our home suits us. It reflects what T and I are like. You know what I mean? Like, if you met us in person and then you saw our home, you would be like, that matches. You know, like, if you could pick a home for us, this would be the kind of home we'd be in. And it's just amazing. And it's so nice. Like, you walk in and it's perfect. You know? Like, it's just so nice. And, like, I don't even know what my point was. I got too excited about the home. My thing is, like, I value things differently than T does, and that keeps us balanced as well. Because my thing is, if I were to guide us,
you get carried away.
Yeah, and I just can't. I can't like keep a cap on things. My focus wouldn't be like, oh, we're gonna have kids in the future. We're gonna need this, we're gonna need that, we're gonna have a mortgage. My focus would be like, how fluffy can I make this home? You know what I mean? And like, it just wouldn't, I just don't feel it comes to me naturally to play this role, you know? But give me a baby. You know what I mean? And that, for me, feels so natural, you know? Like, being in the home, like doing all this stuff, decorating, cleaning, cooking, it feels easy to me, you know? And like right now, I'm still becoming better at it, but I have to say I'm proud of myself. I think I've done well recently. I have.
Always.
Not always. Not always. But like, yeah, like it's just, I feel we really do what feels the best, you know? And like for T, he could never decorate the home, buy knickknacks, hang flowers on the ceiling. No, that's just not gonna ever happen. We would have one chair in this entire apartment.
One floor.
Yeah, he would sit on the floor and use the chair as his desk. You know what I mean? Like that's what would happen.
And then
like,
with 3 roommates.
Yeah, and a mattress on the floor. We'd probably sleep on the balcony. Why not? You know? Like, it's
You're
just...
giving me ideas here.
But, you know, like, it's just different.
That's actually what I did.
I love this story.
I used to live in a shared apartment, and I rented out my room on the Airbnb, and I was sleeping on the balcony in a tent. So that's how I made really good money. I made like $800 a week sometimes. It was amazing. But then my landlord saw the pictures on Airbnb and he was not impressed. Fun times. Anyway, keep talking.
He's creative.
Yeah. The funny thing was, every now and then, so the balcony was like close to the kitchen, and there was like this glass door, and sometimes
the people he was renting the room out to didn't know that he lived on the balcony.
That's right. And then they open the door and they see me in the tent, and then they ask like this question: "Do you sleep in a tent?" Yeah. And obviously I have to say yes, because what am I supposed to say? No, this is my secret garden or something.
Yeah.
No.
I can't.
And they don't complain because it was still one of the cheapest rental rooms in that area where I lived in. And we also still had one roommate, so we were like 3 people in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
And sometimes they would bring like their girlfriend, or one time it was a father and his kid sleeping in my room, like all the furniture in there. And I was sleeping on the balcony because it was just, for me, a nice way to make money, so... Good that I'm trying to be anonymous here, so because otherwise I might get in trouble.
But you guys see what I'm talking about. We would and he tries to convince me to move back into a share house. I'm like, I'm not giving up what I have. I am not.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm not gonna give it up. It's too beautiful. If T had his way, we would be living in the dumpster behind the house that we're renting.
Probably, yeah.
And then renting that room out. You know what I mean?
Not in the dumpster, but in maybe like a caravan.
Yeah. I can't. And he'll be like, invite your mom over, why not? No, I can't. My mom could never.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, but that's what I'm saying is like, that's why he's not in my role. You know, that's why he's not doing what I do.
Yeah.
Because he would not, we wouldn't have a home,
No.
you know, like we would just have a place to live, and it's different.
I guess so, yeah.
And like, so it's like we both value different things, and I think that's what we bring to the table in our relationship, you know, is our strengths. His strength is like getting the mullahs, knowing where to put the mullahs. You know what I mean? And my strength is like making our place a home, making sure we have a home, you know, like cooking, the cleaning, the groceries, that kind of thing. That's what I do. And I feel it really plays into our strengths.
Yes.
I know for most people this doesn't work anymore, and I get that. Like, a lot of people don't want to cook and clean. It's all good, like...
But then what's the alternative, really, you know? I feel like... I mean, okay, honestly, everybody can live their life how they want to live it. I guess I just try to sell my way of life a little bit, so maybe I should not do
Propaganda.
Propaganda, yeah. I guess my main criticism is that I want to criticize that you should not judge people how they want to live their life, because the main problem that I see here came from that stigma that was put on V, that she is now a gold digger in the eyes of someone else, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why what do you care, you know? Do your own thing, you know?
Yeah. And it's such a, like, hurtful thing to say.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, guys, I never thought I was a gold digger until they said this comment, and then I came to T. And I was like, am I a gold digger? And he's like, I guess, like, if you look at it, like, the definition of one, you could be. And I'm like, fuck. You know?
I guess another thing is also, so if I look at it from, I would say, a Luciferian perspective, I think it's beneficial for some companies when couples don't work out, because what you then end up with is basically single people. And single people, they don't share resources. They have 2 washing machines instead of 1. Maybe they go to wash somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah.
They need to rent 2 places instead of 1.
Yeah.
And I think the whole idea of families being separated, and even children don't living with their parents or sharing like some common properties, I think that really plays in the hand of some people that want to sell stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, a married couple, I think, is the ideal foundation for healthy children. And when you have a single mom or a single dad, like with one of the parents missing, it's shown in many research studies that I read that the children gonna become problematic. Either they become criminal, or they have some sort of disorder where then they need medication and all that stuff. And don't get me started on that transgender stuff, because they are literally the wet dream. They are literally the wet dream for every clinician, psychologist, farmer. They are like a little gold mine.
Yeah.
Because the amount of medication, hormones, treatments, operations that they have to do,
it's insane.
It's crazy, you know? Like,
the amount of money that goes into that is a lot,
And that's why I can understand that they would advertise people to
do it younger,
change their gender. Maybe if you go the whole 9 yards, mutilate yourself, that you can create children anymore. And then that's also the other thing, when people are single and they are getting older and alone, what do? They just buy more stuff. They go on holidays.
They fill the void.
They fill the void with cats. Cat food needs to be bought for all those cats and dogs, you know.
Yeah.
And then what else is there, you know? Then you still need to fill that void somehow, you know. So you buy stuff that you maybe don't need, and stuff like this. and then what happens next? Then you just be unhappy for maybe 20, 30 years. Because when you don't have children, I feel it's hard to find a fulfilling purpose, you know? I mean, I don't say it's impossible, and I believe lots of people, they totally find purpose, and they made a choice not to have children, and they're happy whatsoever.
Yeah, totally.
But it's sometimes, hard to believe that this is some sort of delusion, you know? Because I believe nowadays a lot of people delude themselves and they then pop some antidepressiva to keep the show running, kind of thing, before they break down, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What were we talking about?
oh, we were talking about having a...
Yeah, am I a gold digger?
Yes.
I still don't know. I don't know. It's all very confusing.
Yeah.
I guess if I look at like current culture, I might be considered one, but I just don't feel like I'm a gold digger. I'm sorry, but I just don't. If I really wanted money, I would marry someone who had a lot of money. You know what I mean?
And you had the opportunity.
Yeah, I did. And I didn't want that.
Yeah.
You know, like, obviously in my culture, arranged marriage is a really big thing. And, like, my family is, like, my parents are, like, well off, you know, so they have this, like, good status in our community and stuff. So, like, they tried to get me a man with a lot of moolah. You know, like, and honestly, if all I wanted was moolah, 100% I would have just gone with that.
Yes.
You know, it would have been easy. My parents would like him straight off the bat, no questions asked. You know, I wouldn't have to worry about anything, no arguments, no introducing tea. Like, we would skip all of that.
That was a whole lot of drama, yeah.
That was nightmare. Nightmare, man. And, like, you know, I would save myself this pain and this struggle. If I wanted a man with money, I would have just gotten a man with money. I straight up would have just done that, you know? And, like, because when I met T, like, he wasn't established yet, you know? He was still, like, putting in the blocks, building his foundations, you know? And it's just, like, that's not, if you want money, that's not who you go for.
No.
You don't go for the guy who hasn't got it yet, you know? You go for a man who's settled and he's done.
Yeah.
Like, his mullah is in, you know?
And he probably only has a couple more years to live.
Straight up. And you know I like older guys. I'm down.
Yeah.
But really, like, I had options and that's not what I wanted. You know, like, I believe, like, love is what keeps you married.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
It's
whenever T and I have arguments, we always come together and we're like, the love is there, you know? And we can work through this.
That's right.
That's what it is. And for us, without love, there's nothing.
Love and respect. They go hand in hand, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, trust.
Trust, yeah.
Very important.
Very important, yeah.
But, like, without love as a foundation, it doesn't matter if I trust you, if I respect you, I can't be married to you if I don't love you. You know? Like, for me at least, I feel most people, they want someone that they love. And I'm the same.
That's right.
You know, I just, like, happened to fall in love with someone who has, like, the same views as me.
Yes.
If, like, honestly, if T was, like, super unhappy and this isn't what he wanted, then, yeah, I would totally, like, switch it up, you know? I would, like, try to get a different job or, like, I would become a teacher full-time. You know what I mean? We wouldn't focus on kids anymore. We'd, like, focus on something else, you know? But honestly, if our views were that different, I don't believe that we would even still be together.
Yeah, that's what I guess it kind of fits in the point what I was saying earlier in terms of polarity, because then you would also have to become a provider, you know?
Yeah.
And then we're both providers, so whereas...
And also, if I'm providing, like, if I was working full-time, you know, paying my half, I would want more.
Yeah.
I would want more than just being...
An equal.
Yeah. I would want to be the breadwinner. You know what I mean? I would want T to, like, cook and clean for me. I would.
Yeah,
I would, you know, like,
yeah.
You want that. You're like, fuck, man, I just worked a 9 to 5. Can you make me a fucking sandwich or something? Get me a lunch beer type of thing. You know? Like,
Yeah.
but really,
Yeah.
you know, like, I would want that. Or, like, you would want like the thing is, you would just want more, period.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I think as a woman, even, and I'm saying this with a pinch of salt, but I do believe that even working women don't want to be with men who are their equal.
Yeah, I believe that.
I know a lot of women that I know, they're career-orientated women, and they make bank, which is great, but they don't want to settle for a guy, and settle is the word that they use. They don't want to settle for a guy who's at the same level. They always want a guy who earns a bit more than them, which why? You know what I mean? If you're a working woman and you're like a 50-50 kind of gal, then an equal should be what you want, should be all you need, you know? But like, they still want someone who's like a little bit more, who has a little bit more to offer.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah. And I guess that was kind of the reason why I brought up this point, is that it's being advertised in movies and pop culture that 50-50 is the way to go, and that's the only way how women feel equal and all that stuff. But then when you look at the data in terms of relationships and what people say in like questionnaires and studies, the truth reveals itself, which is that women like to look up to a guy, you know, and a guy, they like their woman to be feminine and a nurturer and provider and all that stuff.
And
I just want to say one more thing. I bet you, if you're a single woman and you are on Tinder or on those dating websites, I swear to God, if you put pictures of you cooking a nice meal and showing that you can clean a home, you'll get way more high quality male dating options as if you put yourself in a bikini on the beach in Greece.
I don't know about that, but I didn't do that.
No, you didn't. But
I put really sweet, wholesome pictures.
Yes.
I was always wholesome.
Yeah, that's right. It was wholesome, and I guess attraction is obviously also a factor. So you need to be attracted to that person.
Yeah, I mean 100%. But like, I don't necessarily agree with the cooking, cleaning pictures, but I think like, I don't know. I think you have to know what you're looking for. What are you looking for? Are you looking for a guy who's gonna step on you, or are you looking for a long-term partner?
I guess I am.
You get what you put in, you know? Like for me, I'm sorry, like obviously I know there are probably chicks out there who put bikini pics and are now married to that guy. Kudos to you. But like, if I put like titty pics and stuff, that's not me looking for a husband, you know.
Yeah, you were not ratchet.
No.
In your online profile.
Yeah.
You were really wholesome, and I guess that kind of plays into that fact. But I guess it would have topped it off if you would have shown a nice Sunday roast.
It's not, guys. That doesn't work with everyone. He's just a foodie.
Yeah.
He loves food.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. That's why the food thing does it for him.
Yeah.
But, like, I know, like, I just was myself, you know? But it really depends, like, what are you looking for? If I was looking for a one-night stand, my pictures would be different.
That's true.
You know, like, but I wasn't, like, I was over it. I was like, just give me a husband, I'm done. I'm over this. And actually, that's literally what happened. But, yeah, I feel like you have to know what you want before you step into dating.
Yes.
And I think a lot of the time people just walk blindly into like this dating field.
Oh, yes.
You know, and they're like, oh, I don't know what I want. And then they get disappointed. And I'm like, can you set yourself a standard? You know, set yourself a standard. This is what I will stand for. This is what I won't stand for. And that's it. Oh my God, guys, it's fucking life-changing when you do that. Because then as soon as someone veers off the path you want, that you're looking for, it's over. Bye. On to the next one.
That's right.
You know, like, you don't have to waste your time.
That's right.
And invest, you know, like, and I get it, like, T, when we went on our dates, he would, like, pay and, like, he would plan it, but I would invest in other ways. You know what I mean? I'm sure T didn't go off telling his friends about the girl that he met last night and she was just perfect. I did that. You know? I put my what is it called?
Reputation on the line.
I put my rep on the line for this guy. You know, I was gonna be the laughing stock of my group that week if I didn't get it together, you know, because I've been making declarations. I told them I would marry him, you know. No, I'm not kidding. Like this is things that I invested in us.
Mm-hmm.
I've been telling people.
Mm-hmm.
And like before our dates, I would spend hours getting ready. Like hours. T would just fucking come from his job.
Pants with pink.
Yeah. Can you believe it? I'm like, you should pay. You know? I don't feel guilty at all when people say like, oh, he paid. Yes, he paid. Because I literally, the money I put into this makeup and this hair and looking like this for you, you should pay for me. You know?
Gold digger right there, guys.
Like, no, but like straight up, like I invest other things, you know? Like all of the time and money girls put into getting ready for a guy they like, it's crazy.
That's true, yeah.
It's insane. Like getting my nails done, doing my hair. Hair takes hours. I have a lot of it. You know, like shaving my legs, my pits, my pits. Like, you know, what the hell? Plucking my fucking brows. Like I can't. There's just innumerous amount of things that I did. You know, walking in heels for hours, don't. Just don't. And T rocks up from his work in like sport shoes. I'm like, I deserve to be treated. You know? And the thing is, I knew every time we met, T would be dressed like that, but I always put in the effort. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would invest this stuff, like, I don't know if this is like archaic of me to say, but like, I want him to feel like proud to be with someone like me.
And I did.
And he did.
And it still does.
Oh, baby.
That's true.
But you know what I mean? Like, that's what I invest. Like, I want you to feel like, oh my God, I have this like really beautiful girl. And like, you know, like that feeling, the cost is the date. You know? Like,
yeah, I guess most men don't even realize the effort women put in to look pretty for their Prince Charming.
Yeah, and even now, we're married. Today's date day. We're going on a date after this. I put in the same effort. I put in like hours of getting ready. You know what I mean? Regardless of the fact that T is laying on the couch naked until I'm like, okay, I'm putting my shoes on, and he just grabs the first pant he sees. Every time. Every time.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's just different. Like, he will never put in that effort. I'm okay with that. I don't want a man who's crazy about doing his hair before we go out.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, that's me investing in our date. I want, when you go out, I want him to feel, like, special. I want him to feel like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Like, I have this really beautiful girl on my side, you know? And, like, guys don't recognize that. They don't get it. They don't understand that, oh my God, she wasn't just, like, she didn't just wake up like this, you know? Like, she had to put in work.
Yeah.
And even things like painting my toenails, guys. Before we go on dates, I paint my toenails. I wear shoes, socks. But just in case, you know, like, just on the off chance that my feet come in, I paint my toenails. You know? Like, that is love.
Yeah.
You know, like, stuff like that. Like, it's important, and overall, these small things add up.
That's true, yeah.
And I remember, like, when I got married, like, before I married T, my mom gave me this one piece of advice. And she was just like, never, ever, ever stop trying. Never stop putting in that effort of, like, she's like, after you get married, that's when you really put your back into it. You know what I mean? She's like, that's when it really counts. My mom has been married to my dad for... This is their 27th year. And my whole life, even now after getting married myself, she still gets dressed up for my dad. Still puts makeup on, still does her hair. You know what I mean? It's important. And like, I know it sounds really like fucked up and not work and stuff, but like, it counts. Like, it's important, you know?
Counts, yeah.
Yeah, like, I put in effort, and I want to keep doing that for the rest of our marriage, you know? Because I think that's like part of what I want to bring to the table, you know?
Yeah, and I want to do the same thing when it comes to like money and stuff.
Yeah.
I literally put in that effort in terms of refining my skills, like really becoming the best worker in my company.
Yeah.
And I do that literally till I collapse, and then when I collapse, he is coming, oh, we're going on a date now. So that's why I'm putting on one pants. But obviously, I guess I could do better with my outfit. But yeah, there's a time for that, and I guess the time is when we have like our own little home. At the moment, we are renting. So I hope at some point we will be able to buy our own house.
Yeah.
And then I can roll back a little bit on the work and put more personal investment.
No, T is like a workaholic, 100%.
Mm.
And initially, I remember like I used to get upset that T wouldn't put in more effort when we went out and stuff. But honestly, I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just doesn't bother me anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I see where he puts his love into other places. You know what I mean? It's just different. Like, we're just different people and we show it in different ways.
Yes.
You know? And I think the key to making it work is to recognize which ways we show it in.
Yeah,
and
that's
appreciate that. You know?
Very true, yes.
Like, that's why I don't hound T to, like, change and stuff when we go on dates anymore. Because it's like, I don't care. He puts his love into other places, and I see it now, and I can acknowledge that, you know? Like, I recognize that, and I value it more than him wearing a button-up, you know? Like, it just doesn't matter to me. I'm like, oh, he's literally... For me, it's the fact that he's been working all day and he's still making time to see me and do something together, you know? For me, I'm like, okay, that's his effort. You know, like, that's his love. And I show it in my other way, you know?
And to at least reserve one day for date day.
Date day. But seriously, honestly, anyone who's married out there, you should have a date day. Fight for it, regardless of what he says.
Yeah.
You know? 100% date days are important and they make a difference, I think.
They do, yeah.
You should have a date day, man. Why not?
Yeah.
And you should do, like, different things.
Yeah.
We're gonna do clay today. Aren't we? Clay time! Little mugs! I'm gonna make such a cute mug! And it's gonna be, like, this big, and I'm thinking a mouth, little teeth, maybe, like, a heart on the tooth. You know what I mean? Something cute. I have pink gems. It's going down.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's our podcast for today.
I feel like, is it a podcast?
Maybe it's just, I don't know what you call
I feel like it might
homemade reality TV.
I guess so. I guess it's like those diary entry rooms,
Yeah.
but an hour long.
Diary. Is it called a vlog?
Oh! Vlog. It's literally just a chat.
Yeah.
I think we're just chatting.
Dumpster chats.
Dumpster chats. But that's what it is. It's just trash talk.
Trash talk from two trashy people.
It's sad, but it's true.
But trash in a good way.
The best kind of trash.
Yeah.
You know the trash that, like, people search through?
Yeah, the trash that people want.
People are dying for it.
Because they're like, oh, I can't buy this anywhere.
Yeah. Oh my god, some one-of-a-kind shit. Yeah. What is it? One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yes. So if we are your treasure, you're welcome.
Hey! I think this is going to be us signing off now.
Good.
All right. Good.